the immunity thing, the immunity deal. And basically it appears that Cheryl Mills and a couple others, unlike Brian Pagliano, were given limited immunity, which basically means it doesn't apply to what they say in front of Congress, doesn't apply to what they say in front of the press. It only applies to what they said in that investigation. And I think the point was to go higher than they were. Now, frankly, I would have loved to have seen somebody turn on Cheryl Mills and get her indicted. But if you're going to work your way up the food chain in investigation, that's what the whole immunity thing is about,
Okay. So you think this is just a step, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think, it sounds very intriguing. Well, why were they given immunity if nothing was done with that information? And yet it seems like the point was to get more information out of them, whether they cooperated or not. Till I see the transcripts, I'm not going to know.
Right.
What their reaction was. It'd be interesting if they were given information like Pagliano still didn't talk. Of course, he didn't show up. They were right in front of the investigators, I imagine, when they were given the immunity. How Pagliano took a walk, that's the function of U.S. Marshals to chase him down and bring him before Congress.
You would think that they would drag him in chains if they had to get him. I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. You know what I mean? It seems like a long, long time. Maybe it's not, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a detective. I'm not any of those things, but it sure seems like it's dragging out. And it kind of makes you wonder, put your tinfoil hat on. Are we dragging this out to get past the election so that Hillary can become president? I don't know. It just seems like a long time to me, and I'd like to have this information available. And you would think the FBI would push it rather than drag their feet. But if something's going on at the FBI and they're not as honest as they should be, maybe that's why it's happening. I don't know. I'm just saying. I could be completely wrong.
Hey, Mike was talking about Cruz.
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting. My wife texted me while I was at work yesterday with the news about Cruz, and she was all excited about it. So this is a great thing, and then she wondered in her text what Theron's reaction would be to it, and I knew what Linda's would be, and I mentioned to Linda today on her show that I think there are three strains of thought or three groups of people concerning this news, and one of them is those who are really, Cruz supporters and thrilled that he's come around like this and good for him, and then there are those who basically they'll never forgive Cruz, and I think Mike might fit into that group. And there's others who just don't care. And at this point, I'm one of the ones who doesn't care.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate what he did. It's nice he came around. And Mike might be right. This might be the end of him politically.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me anymore.
Yeah. Well, he did the right thing for whatever reason. Is he doing it because he's in a tough senatorial race? Is he doing it because he thinks it's the right thing? Is he doing it? He's saying he's doing it because he knows the alternative Hillary is not acceptable, which is what I've been saying all along, So
right.
Hopefully he's on board. Hopefully that does have some positive effect for some of the Cruz people to finally jump on board with Trump. I don't know. All we can do is hope for the best. You know what I mean? But it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, and I think some of his rationale was, hey, they attacked Heidi, he attacked my dad, and now Heidi has forgiven him, my dad has forgiven him, well, then who am I to hold a grudge? Right. I like that. And then we gotta protect the Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good. I hope it's all good.
Yeah,
and not just political the way that the left is trying to make it sound.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. For me, that was the biggest strong point for me was that, Ted Cruz, if you are a big supporter of the Constitution, you should know what's at stake, and you should have been on board with Trump as soon as you knew you couldn't win. It's that simple. You should, if you care about the Constitution, if you think you're the most constitutionally minded person in Washington, you should have been on board with Trump as soon as you knew that you could not win. It's that simple.
But I put myself in his shoes, though. How would I have reacted to those personal attacks on my father and my wife?
Yeah, you know what? It's politics.
So I can understand that.
It's
and
politics.
It took him a while to get over it.
Yeah, this is the dirtiest of dirty jobs. It's that simple. I ask Mike Rowe. I think he would tell you. It's not the sewer guy. It's politics. This is the dirtiest of the dirty of the dirty. It is, and nobody. It's. I always still call township politics the armpit of politics, but national politics are just ugly. It doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. It's that simple.
Yeah. Well, you have a great day, man.
Thanks,
Good
Ed.
show.
Appreciate the call. Take care. Let's take a call from Jimmy on line 2. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? I 30-6 Wisconsin, just in case anybody wants to know.
Well, thank you for the update.
Yeah, it's looking bad. Anyway, but yeah, you're right. Politics is a knife fight in a dirty bar. It is a nasty, nasty business. And I got to stand up for anybody that doesn't want to vote for Trump. I really do. If you don't want to vote for him, don't. If that's the way you feel, fine. When I stood against Romney and McCain and even George Bush a few years ago, I didn't vote for any of those people. This is the first Republican I'm going to vote for in 12 years in Donald Trump. And, it is what it is. If you can't vote for that person, then don't. But I don't think you should use your platform to go out and beat the drum and tell everybody they're going to go to hell or wherever it is that they're going to,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like some people do.
It's still a free country. You're entitled. But you know what? There's always a consequence for your actions. That's why I tell people, hey, if you don't support Trump, then it is what it is. If you end up with Hillary, then it will eventually be part of your responsibility for that to have happened. We have Barack Obama for this last 4 years here because of why? 5 million people who either stayed home or voted independent or didn't vote for Romney because they thought he was bad. And he may not have been more than 0.5% better than Barack Obama. But you know what? We have Barack Obama because a number of people did not support Romney.
Yeah, that's true. And, there were a good number of us out there that voted, the way that we did. And, so I don't hold anything against anybody, but I never went out and beat on anybody for wanting to vote for. If you wanted to vote for Barack Obama in the last election, I didn't get mad at you or anything. I didn't care. That was your prerogative. There was no way I was going to change your mind anyway. Just like I can't change anybody's mind that's going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Go ahead.
Right.
You're welcome to it. That's what happens in that voting booth is your business.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got liberal, you're like me, Jim, and we've got liberal friends. I don't hold that against them. I think they're crazy as all get out, but you know what? I don't hold it against them. I'll still have a beer with them. I'll still joke and laugh about there's more to life than there's the politics. But people need to understand that there's a consequence to your actions in this election. This is an election about survival.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's about the Supreme Court. It's about justice. It really is. A lot of these things that are happening, Charlotte, what have you, these things wouldn't happen if the Justice Department worked the way that it was supposed to.
Well, that's exactly right. And thanks for bringing that up, Jimmy, because listen to this. So this has been brought up a couple of times, and Matt was talking a little bit about it in his show this last hour. But 70% of the people arrested in Charlotte were out-of-staters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out-of-staters.
Yep.
They are breaking federal law. Okay, and I'm going to read you the law, right? It's called
You're crossing state lines to incite a riot.
Yes, it's the Anti-Riot Act, all right? And the act states this: whoever travels in the interstate, or foreign commerce, or uses any facilities of interstate or foreign commerce, or uses any facility, including but not limited to mail, telegraph, telephone, radio, and television, with intent to A, incite a riot, B, organize, promote, encourage, participate in, or carry on a riot, or commit any act of violence in furtherance of a riot, or to aid or abet any person in inciting or participating. It goes on and on. This person shall be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both. All right. So my question is, Loretta Lynch, you have clear violations here. These are people who they didn't go on the first day, so they didn't just happen to be there. They went up on the second, especially second or third day. If you were arrested, you were there with intent. You cross state lines to participate in this violence. You should be arrested and given up to 5 years in jail and up to a $10,000 fine. But Loretta Lynch will not enforce this. Like everything else the Obama administration doing, they will selectively enforce only what they choose to. And that's just wrong. Yeah, the executive branch's job is to enforce the law, not make the laws and not selectively choose which laws. You're supposed to go after it and enforce it. And this is a clear, if they enforced it on this one, we'd stop this. You know what I mean? People need to be held accountable.
And there's also the RICO Act, and you could go after George Soros for funding all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
So why are you even, and I think that is why a lot of these globalist pigs fear Trump very much, because he's going to go after a lot of these people and shut some of this stuff down.
I hope
he's
so.
He's not going to care what people do that are from the city of Charlotte. Let the state and the city and the local government deal with that. You cross state lines, you do this, you do that, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, as they should. I would love to see someone arrest Soros and deport him to Russia and let Putin deal with him. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'm sure George Soros' punishment in Russia will be far and beyond anything we could ever do to him or even waste our money trying to investigate him. Just give him to Putin and let things fall where they may.
Yeah, that would be the cherry on the top of the sundae, I guess.
Yeah. So, hey, let me ask you, Jimmy, the debate's Monday night. You got any prediction?
No, I'm just going to let it play out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if I believe all the stories, and all this conspiracy nonsense. We'll just have to see what happens.
Right.
And I think that Trump is probably going to do pretty well against her because she can't remember her lies very well.
Well, yeah, you know what? When you have lies upon lies upon lies, it gets very twisted to try and remember all that stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, let me give a little plug here, Jimmy. So Monday night is the debate. There's an all-American debate crawl. It's a presidential debate crawl, and it's going to start at Buffalo Wild Wings in Novi, September 26th. That's Monday from 7 to 9. Free wings and a cash bar. So people will get together, eat some wings, watch the debate, and then they're going to crawl across the street to join other fellow Republicans and go to the Imagine Theater to actually watch it. And that's from 9 to 10:30. So it's a free event, includes popcorn and prizes, and you can then crawl into the IHOP afterward for coffee and dessert. So if you got any questions on that, I don't have a phone number here for it, but it's the guys from the Walled Lake Trump office. And I went there the other day. I want to thank those guys for giving me a bunch of signs, and I got them up. And if you need something, get hold of those guys. They're on Pontiac Trail above the barber shop there in Walled Lake. So check it out.
All right. Well, I will do that.
All right.
Thank you very much, and you have a good day.
You too, Jimmy. Take care. Okay, we're going to go into a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some email disclosures. We'll see you on the other side.
Everybody needs some time to just turn on the radio and rock. You'll love Theron's Saturday Night Rock and Rhythm Review. It all gets underway at 4 p.m. with the Saturday edition of the Bone Conduction Music Show. From 6 to 8, get hip to Fast Eddie, spinning the classics on Eddie's Caravan. At 8 o'clock, we explore America's roots music with Radio John D. and the Greasy Skillet. From 10 to midnight, it's Dan Martin, bringing you the finest music from the United Kingdom on London Calling. At midnight, DJ Del Villarreal wraps things up with his Rockabilly Fest, Go Cat Go. Theron's Saturday Night Rock and Rhythm Review. It all starts at 4 p.m. Saturday, only on the musical side of Wham!
Join Jeff Long, CFP FIC financial consultant, as he shares strategies on how to accumulate and distribute money for your retirement. Pass on money to your heirs and charities in a tax-wise manner and increase the overall probability of investment success. Thrivent Financial is hosting 3 free workshops to be held on Monday, September 19th, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Novi Public Library. Tuesday, September 20th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Salem South Line District Library. And Thursday,